Good morning. I am here at the La Quinta Inn in Pensacola, Florida, getting ready to get on trail. I got in about 10 o'clock last night, about 7 hours later than I was supposed to, and a lot of delays yesterday. And I'll talk more about that when I'm on the trail with you. But this hotel is not very nice. Not the greatest area, but more just the stink of the room. I'm out of here. I was going to stay another day and get some rest, but some more rest, but I'm just going to get on trail and get my rest that way. I'll tell you more about the trip later on, but for now, I'm going to leave the La Quinta Inn and head to Fort Pickens and let this southbound Florida trail journey begin. See you on trail. It's a warm one already. Probably 75 or 80 degrees, that lovely Florida humidity. It's gonna be warm these next couple days. Getting ready to eat some McDonald's here in Pensacola. Here in Fort Pickens. Florida Trail starts here. Right over here is an old fort. I don't know a whole lot about it. I don't have time to check it out right now though. I have a trail to hike, but it's really cool. This fort, driving around it. My trail angel right here. Jennifer in the blue car dropping me off. Thank you, Jennifer, for the ride and the laughs. The fun ride, fun time. But this is the Fort Pickens, and here is the beginning of the Florida trip. Walked in about 1/10 of a mile from where the parking lot at Fort Pickens is in my first marsh. And looky there. The northern terminus of the Florida Trail, National Scenic Trail. And so begins 1,100 miles of this beautiful thru-hike through swamps and ravines and rivers. Really close to Eglin Air Force Base. I'll be there in 2 days, walking through about 100 miles of the base, but been a lot of planes flying over already. But ladies and gentlemen, it's go time here on the Florida Trail. It's a beautiful day. It's warm and hot and sunny. Warm and hot, but it's going to be a gorgeous day with a lot of beach walking and road walking to start off here in Pensacola Beach, right after Fort Pickens. But the northern terminus, the Florida Trail, let's do it! Those of you who don't know, this is my 8th thru-hike. Oh, looky there. Big old crane. Who just landed in that tree and screaming at me. But it is a beautiful trail so far, a beautiful day. Pushing 80, maybe mid 80s. But those of you who don't know, I lived in Florida for 25 years. And this is a totally different type of thru-hike for me. I'm a mountain guy, but I lived in Florida for 25 years. I'm also a beach bum. So I'm going to enjoy this trail, walking from one end of my home to the other. I don't live in Florida anymore, but I lived here for 25 years. It was the first place I chose to live after leaving the old home in the Midwest after school and moved to Tampa Bay, Florida. And that will always be home, so it's kind of ironic that I haven't thru-hiked my old state until just now, but I'm looking forward to this. I'm going to miss those mountains. I'm going to miss climbing with my legs and descending, because it's basically this common motion with the legs, which that's what I really have to pay close attention to, is the lack of movement type of injury on this trail. So doing a lot of stretching, or will be doing a lot of stretching in between the miles, the long miles each day. But I am looking forward to this, through the rivers, through the ravines, through the swamps, the rivers, the beaches, the dikes, the levees. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be small chance of rain today, small chance of rain tomorrow, then the sun for the next several days. And I don't see a cool down coming for about 5 days. So see what happens, but it could be unseasonably warm. But just a week ago, it was in the 20s here. So it definitely gets cold in Florida. For those who think that it's never cold here in the winter, you are mistaken, because it gets cold, and because of that humidity feels even colder than what it is. But anyway, I'm going to quit rambling. Got some big miles to do today, as I started off late, and I'll get more into that story about my travel day yesterday as the day progresses. But I don't know if it's showing on my face, but I'm smiling from ear to ear. The sunshine, the vitamin D, the humidity. Back in Florida, baby. Yeah. This right here is called Battery Worth. They would shoot cannons off right in there. And I think there's another one over there. And I don't know anything about it. I just read it on this sign. But that's a pretty cool piece of history right there. This whole area is pretty cool, this whole fort. It's really awesome. Guess there's ways you can walk down in tunnels and everything there if you want to. That's not really my thing. I don't know much about history. I just swallow some of my hair. But it's still pretty cool to look at, even though I don't know what I'm looking at. All right, continuing on the trail, which is what I'm good at. The trail crosses a road that goes through Fort Pickens, and it comes to here, the beautiful Gulf of Mexico in all its splendor. Those colors are rocking. Those waves are beautiful. And now I walk along this beach for many, many miles. Gorgeous. Baby. Walking through this beautiful white sand is kind of like walking through about 6 to 8 inches of snow, except it's paradise. It definitely makes each step a little more labored, but oh my goodness, is it worth it. Yeah. While I'm here walking in this paradise, which is white sandy beaches with aqua water in 80 degrees. Oh my goodness. This seems like a good time to tell the funny story of my travel day yesterday. So at the airport to get here to Pensacola, I was supposed to leave at about 12, get to Pensacola at 2:30, and got delayed to 1 something, and then 2 something, and then 3 something. I had a migraine on top of all that, which just kept getting worse and worse. I suffer with migraines quite often, and sometimes I never know what it is. It could be the barometric pressure or whatnot, but stress definitely adds to it. Well, when it was all said and done, delay after delay, I ended up getting to Pensacola 7 hours after what I was supposed to. About 10 o'clock at night. I was supposed to get here around 2:30 or so. And funny thing is, when we finally got on the plane, sat there forever, it seemed like. Pilot comes on, says air traffic control just notified them that they needed to deplane and that it would be another 2.5 hour delay. By the way, all the delays were because of weather, and it just got everything so backed up. And so at that point, they said you're gonna have to deplane and take a 2.5 hour delay because of the weather that had happened and was still happening. They didn't want planes more than 50 miles within each other. So it just backlogged everything. And then by that point, the first officer was going to be out of hours, so he couldn't be on the plane. So then they had to find someone that could replace him as well. Sat there for another 30 minutes. I opened the doors, then they closed the doors. Then the pilot comes back and says, we're going to take off because air traffic control said that that was a mistake, the message or memo that they sent them, so that they were still able to send off or take off. Then we taxi down the runway and sit there for, I don't know, about 45 minutes or so, going nowhere. This is after all the other delays. And then finally I get into Pensacola at 10 o'clock at night. And that hotel was not good. It smelled something awful. It was a nice room. It was taken care of, it looked like, as much as could be. But the carpet or the pipes or something just had a horrible stink, and it was not in the greatest of areas. When I went to the Denny's, when I got in to the hotel to try to get something to eat before I went to bed, I turned around and walked right back out because of the clientele, shall we say, that was in there. So I just went straight to bed and didn't eat anything. Anyway, here I am now, thanks to Jennifer. I told her that I was probably going to come in the following day, tomorrow instead, but after that hotel, I'm like, there's no way I'm staying here and killing time and wasting time in Pensacola. So I'm gonna go right to the trail, and hopefully you're available. If not, I can just do Uber or something. But she was available, so she was able to get me here. Starting a little later today, but that's okay. I could stay at a hotel up here, or maybe make it far enough to where I can set up camp on a dune tonight. Playing it by ear, like I always do. But it's beautiful, and obstacles aside, here I am on the Florida Trail, on the north side, the beach side. Woo! You're gonna hear me say woo a lot of things. Well, hello everyone. I'm still walking on the beach. About 6 or 7 miles into it today. Nice little grind here on the beach, sinking down about 4 to 6 inches on every step. Like walking on the moon, except that's air. I don't think they have one of those on the moon. And it seems to be dark on the moon, at least in every picture I've seen. Actually, that makes me think. Does it get light on the moon? It has to get light on the moon. It has to. I'm saying it just has to. But right here, I don't know if you can see it. There's Pensacola Beach. Getting closer to that, about a mile and a half. As of right now, like I said, about 6 or 7 miles into it today. Once I get up here, I'm going to be more on a road walk So it's going to be really cruisy then. I'm going about 3 miles an hour right now on average. So that should probably go 3.5 when I'm starting to walk on sidewalks and roads for a little bit. I don't know how long that lasts today. A lot of beach walk until sometime tomorrow, probably, when I start heading north out of Navarre. But like I said, really tired yesterday. A very long day, stressful. Didn't get much sleep tonight, but had enough energy to just keep going. And why sit around when I could hike? And I could always stop and camp or stop at a hotel here. Well, as of right now, I'm leaning towards a hotel because there's quite a few of them, like Holiday Inns and such, up here at Pensacola Beach. And I need to make up for that crappy one I stayed in last night, even though it was just a few hours. So that's where I'm leaning. Probably going to get to about 10 miles or so, with just a half a day of hiking in because of when I started. And set up camp in a hotel tonight and get a super early start tomorrow after a very nice night of rest and hopefully a good breakfast in the hotel. All right, so that's what I'm planning. We'll see if I end up doing it because you know what I think of plans. But good grief, it's beautiful. The beach doesn't last forever though here on the Florida Trail. It's going to be beautiful, just in a different way. The clouds are becoming ominous. That is gorgeous. Wow. Over the ocean. Good grief. That is amazing.